Good evening, everybody. Please stand for the pledge. Can I have a motion to go to town board meeting October 23rd, 2025?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Prior to opening the public hearing, I just want to give the public a rundown on some changes that were made to the budget this previous week. So we had some changes in increased medical premiums due to miscalculation of cost, an increase in the highway secretary pay, minor increase, $200. An increase in the DA fund equipment went from $75,000 to $85,000 based on the recent quote received. 2 international dump trucks were ordered in 2022 to replace the older trucks. A new truck A will replace existing truck number 5, which is a 2001 International 2000 series. A new truck B will replace truck number 17, which is a 1994 International. So we get a lot of use out of our trucks here. Brad does a good job. Note that the 2 trucks are equipped with wing plows, increasing the number of wing plow trucks on the road from 4 to 6. We also added additional revenue. We have an SDA district, a special district for, what is it? Pursuing Maple, that's correct. So we had $4,000 in tax revenue coming in from that, and we did an appropriated fund balance adjustment from DA at the guidance of our auditor. So a $300,000 appropriation fund balance went into contingency. All right, any comments from the board prior to opening?
I just had the one question, but you answered it. I didn't know what the special district was.
Yeah, so we
Which is
have
the
a new
pursuit.
taxing district.
The drainage
Drainage district.
Okay, that was the
So
question.
each of the new homes that go up in that district pay into that district so that Broad has the money to clean them at the end of the year.
Okay.
Kind of new to us, I think we voted it in last year.
Yeah, it didn't specify, it just said SDA, so I wasn't sure what that drainage. what that-
Special district.
Thank you.
So, when I, just a couple quick comments.
Mhm.
First, that AA plus rating
Yes.
was, to some extent, some people, orders and stuff were saying that maybe that was in jeopardy. But with the changes that were made, that seems to have been corrected, which is a good thing. We want to make sure that we maintain the AA plus.
So to be clear, we got a call from Unistat, Noah Edelson, right?
Yep, a couple days ago.
A couple of days ago, and he said that S&P is going to be requiring you to have a conversation with them again at the end of the year to talk about your rating and stuff. He was a little concerned because our fund balance in A was it wasn't unhealthy, but it wasn't where the rest of our fund balances were. Hence, that's why we made a appropriation change from DA to A, which is the same fund balance. It's the same
Taxes.
people, yes, same taxing. So we moved that over into contingency, not expect to use it, but it'll increase the fund balance at the end of the year.
And then the other thing, there seemed to be a discrepancy in my conversation with you and Jen.
Mhm.
The CSEA worker that was going to be added on,
Mhm.
it wasn't put in the preliminary budget, correct?
I don't think-
Was it? No?
I think with Mary, we had this conversation, right?
Well,
It came in after the fact, and then therefore you said, you can't change the preliminary budget if it's accepted. But anyway, the bottom line is, what we're going to do now is not fill a full-time position.
Correct.
At CSEA, either do it seasonal.
Correct.
Or do it with vendors.
We're leaning towards seasonal, somebody that reports to the town. Yes, a seasonal worker that reports to the town. The cost of mowing the lawns all summer long and the increase of what we're gonna get because we have to take over the cemetery. We're being required to by the state to take over the cemetery. Donovan's no longer will be doing it. They have sold their business and are moving on. They're retiring. So in agreement today, I agree with you that we're gonna hire a seasonal person in the summertime, 6 months. That'll cover the cost and offset by the $41,000 that we're being charged to mow the lawn, which will end up going up once they have to start mowing the cemetery. So, in agreement, yes. I thought it was in there, it wasn't in there, so we're good. And any other questions, comments? No? All right, so can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's open to the public for any comments on the budget.
Good evening. Chris Healy, Town of Goshen. Mr. Supervisor, you added a few big trucks, and you said we made more appropriations to the fund.
Those were already funded last year. The truck, they just came in, or 2 years ago, actually, they just came in.
Okay, in reading this report, it's difficult at best for the layman, you know, to understand exactly. I see here on the third page, the balance fund summary. Am I right to say that we started with 7.8 million and appropriated 800,000 and down to 7 million?
I'm sorry, what page was that?
I'm on page 3.
Yep.
The Town of Goshen Fund Balance Summary. And I guess more to the point is I'm trying to find out how much is in the bank.
We can give you the fund balances that we have. So we have A, which roughly has 750,000, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep,
B has 2.5 million.
yeah, and I think 2.2 in DB.
DB has 2.2 and DA has 2.6.
Those are rough estimates.
Well, the
Yeah.
last figures that I got were not that. I don't know what I had another one. I got A at 792,000. And then I got B at 2,918,000.
2,000,006 now, yep.
Oh, it's 2,006,000 now, okay. So there was a change from the last one that I
Yeah,
got.
we just did a transfer from B.
Correct.
Right.
So there's two different balances, our operating balance, which we use on a daily basis, and then we have our fund balance, which sits in New York class, and we move it as we need to move it. So all the money that comes into the town goes into New York class, high interest rate, and as we need to appropriate it, we move it into the bank. That's hence the balance transfers you see every month.
Got it. I'm not going to hit every line, but I had a question that's
Okay.
coming through. And starting on page 4 and under revenues, and just this jumps right at me. Bingo licenses. I am amazed, one, that this is a line item. Amazed, two, that there's absolutely no money in there. You're going to tell me there's not some group of blue-haired old ladies in a basement somewhere in Goshen?
They're still in the basement? No.
Yeah.
That was St. John's, used to have bingo, but they had to give up the space, so we never gave up our license with the state.
Just in case some operator wants to move in and run bingo parlors.
Correct.
Got it.
Probably not good.
Okay. Looking forward, I got kind of confused. Throughout the entire report, it says personal, P-E-R-S-O-N-A-L, not personnel. That would be N-N-E-L. Are we personal service versus personnel? Personal services is foot massages and personnel is payroll.
Chris, what, are you on a page? I'm just looking.
Yeah, sure, just check page, it's throughout the entire report,
5010
but go to page
personal
4.
services.
Go to page 5, top of page 5, or in
Yeah.
the middle.
Is a typo, I believe.
I just want to make sure, it's payroll. I have it.
Christine has
Yeah,
it.
Christine.
Can I answer that? That's how the state comptroller labels it. So-
State comptroller needs to go back to about, I don't know, 6th or 7th grade and learn the difference between the two. Okay, just wanted to be sure and thank you. I had the grant writer. About a year ago, I believe the town brought in a new grant writer. There was some discussion as to whether or not we really needed one. We were gonna go for a year, and I believe it was Councilman Lyons and Cantorino who said, we'll approve it, but let's see how it goes. Here, it says 2024 actual, spent 30,000, budgeted for 2026, 42,000. My question is, has this grant writer done enough for us?
$465,000 in a police grant, another $35,000 in another police grant. They're working on $1.7 million for Salesian right now. So yeah, they're coming through. They're doing. They're diligently working right now with myself and the New York Association of Towns to get money for Arcadia Hills.
So when that's a great project that we're working on. So when I see these funds on the revenue sides, and we're seeing the monies coming in, is that generally the grants? That's those big numbers that are coming in? That you're saying that some pretty big numbers there.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, last year, just the 450,000 went into what fund, I don't know exactly, but yeah, it had come into it. You'll see the grants coming in.
Well, sounds like
Listen, we'll be
good.
the first to dismiss them if they're not doing their job, but they have been an asset right now of pointing out and finding the grants. We ultimately have to, facilitate them and write them, but they're finding the grants that we need in order to, get some of these projects done. Arcadia's a big one for me, it's $3.2 million. So they're.
We're all waiting on
Patient
pins and
as
needles,
we
waiting
are.
for that to come through.
And also Goshen doesn't qualify for a lot of grants per se.
We don't.
Because of our economic
Our
status.
median income is
So-
above the poverty level.
So it's good to have somebody who can really sauce through and see what would be good.
I understand this is what they do for a living. I don't do my own taxes for that reason.
Yeah.
Page 5, top of the page is bus operations. Is this the dial-a-bus?
Yeah.
I gotta be off the page, because I'm.
That's dial-a-bus.
It is. I asked because in two separate places there says bus and then there says dial-a-bus.
Can you do me a favor, Chris? Just give me the account number A56, whatever it is, so I know I can find it, because our pages are off for some reason.
5630-1.
Correct.
Okay.
Bus operation, that's dial-a-bus.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
And the question is, I do see here there was bus operations. In the report, there's also on the revenue side, there were grants. There's a state grant, there's a federal grant. I calculated those grants at about $195,000. And are those bus grants going towards the dial-a-bus?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so we're just making up the difference, which I see here is about $34,000.
Yep.
Thank you.
And also Chester.
You
Grants.
the attributes as well.
Right.
You'll see a town of Chester line at the top of the revenue.
Ah, that's that one. And so, page 8, B-1440-200, town-only water project. No numbers in there.
We don't.
What was this? What page is that?
It's page 8. At the top of the page, under expenditures, B-1440-200. Town-only water project. You know where I'm going.
We have nothing budgeted for any water projects. As
Okay.
we said,
To zero.
I got it.
okay,
But we did make application, and so I'm wondering, where's that money coming from?
so as I said multiple times, we borrow money from the B fund, town-only fund. It goes into a water account. When the water district is formed and revenues come in, we pay back the B fund. We do it with every single one of our water and sewer districts.
Okay.
Because we keep in mind, there are situations, we had one not too long ago, we had a water main break in Scotchtown. It was, $86,000 to fix it. We didn't have that money in our water fund, so we borrow from B, and as we bill, which we just did, we pay that money back. We always zero out, and anybody's more than welcome to come in and see whatever they want to see, but we always zero out.
On that point, is anybody available to come to town hall and see the budgets and bills anytime they want? Is
You
that,
can come to town hall and sit in my office and ask me anything you want, and I'll bring Jen down.
appreciate it, thank you very much.
Yep.
Bill Troy, Town of Goshen. Just a couple of quick things. One of my favorites is pilot payments, and I see that we're gonna be down 7,000 next year. I'm sorry, this is page 1, payments in lieu of taxes. Anyway, down 7,000. I wondered what that might be related to, and specifically, I don't know, are we getting pilot payments from Amy's? Because that's up in the cloud somewhere, I think.
Well, your tax payments from Amy's, they're paying for what their taxation is now, yeah. But it's vacant land taxation.
Okay, but did they have a pilot, I guess is what I'm asking.
They no longer have a
They no longer have one.
Okay, so then is this the loss of a,
What's the
And
decrease?
The decrease is from Amy's and Arden.
Glen Arden,
Yeah.
still haven't got paid. You know you haven't got paid Glen Arden either.
oh,
Still. It's
All right.
coming soon, they keep telling us it's coming.
I know, I know.
Checks
isn't available.
Now I understand. Okay. The other thing, I wondered if you foresee a significant upsurge in crime. The fines and forfeited bail are projected to go up $170,000.
No, we have, what we have is a detailed traffic force now. We have one officer dedicated to traffic enforcement, mainly on the roads of question, Gate Schoolhouse, Maple Avenue, Gate Schoolhouse, Houston. On average, he's writing 10 tickets a day.
If I can chime in, so I was fortunate enough to do a ride-along with Officer Lewis, and we were, I think I was with them for 3 hours, and he had already written 3 tickets by the time I joined him at 9 o'clock, and there were at least 5 or 6 other people that just completely went through stop signs at Burke, which is unbelievable, that stop sign right at Burke. Trucks right through, and he wrote up, sitting there, another 4 or 5 tickets. So they're doing a phenomenal job.
So yeah, that's why you see the increase, and that's the budgeted increase. We think that that's a very conservative number. We think that number's gonna be higher, but I didn't wanna shock the crowd to say we're gonna go from 150 to 800,000. But, you know, it's gradually gonna increase because of the comments we get here. So we now have a full traffic detail out, part-time right now, Jason Lewis, 30 hours a week. The new officer that we're hiring is gonna go into that facility. And he or she will be full-time. We also have the 2 officers completed the New York State commercial program. So they're gonna be able to write commercial tickets and on trucks and stuff that are coming through. Right now, they do it, but they do it with the state of New York, and all that, a good portion of that money goes to the state of New York. It will all be coming from us. We've also put together a program of taxation, tickets for town-only occurrences. So town roads only, and they're writing those tickets on town road, that revenue comes to us.
So I think this is responsive to comments I've heard time and again here about some specific issues with specific roads and streets, and so that's great. I just wonder if Chief Post might consider doing a piece in the Indy or something to grab attention for
He
this.
does.
He does.
There's a police report in the Indy.
I know, the blotter thing, I know.
Yeah.
I'm talking about something that's focused specifically on this, to get everybody's attention that this is what's going on, and we've added
Then we're not
police.
getting any revenue, because everybody's gonna know.
You know what, tell them where their hiding spots
I mean,
are.
listen,
Glass is half empty,
a good
Rory.
portion, a
Thank
good
you.
portion of the tickets that Jason is writing are commercial tickets.
Yes.
And he writes heavily over at Burke because people just ignore that stop sign.
Yeah.
Kids are getting off school bus, boom, right through it,
They
right
don't
through
even
it.
attempt to stop, they just right through. I saw it 3 times. It was unbelievable.
In fact, this was a funny one. I was there one day as I was coming down the hill. He's writing a ticket for one car, and another car goes right through the stop sign. He pulled that one over, and then another one. He's got 3 cars backed up. These people, I said, what is
We had
going
two
on?
2 trucks backed up.
It's just nuts, but that's hence the increase in revenue, yes.
Thank you.
So now, it's just an interesting situation. It's supposed to be a deterrent. So now the more tickets you write, the less tickets you should be writing, because people should be educated not to come.
I
So,
agree.
yeah, and if the day comes where we don't put any revenue in there, that means everyone is obeying the law.
Yeah,
That's right.
I'll be out.
Think about that one for a while.
yeah.
Okay. I just
The,
thought
the,
it
re-
was
the,
kind of-
the repeat offenders on overweight trucks is absurd. How many trucks get the same ticket at least once a week? And they pay it because I think it's faster for them to cut through on Houston and Gate Schoolhouse to get to the dump than it is to go all the way around. But they're writing the tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Anybody else? Neil?
Thank you.
Neil Heller. Want to first start out with the stormwater district. I'm glad you finally did that. Not that this administration, but I'm glad the town is finally doing that. It's been asked for a long time, probably the last 15, 20 years, and I'm glad we're having that done, because we have those expenses anyhow. Second thing, I think Joe, you just misspoke a little bit. Amy's Kitchen is not vacant property, and I hope it's not being taxed that way. We do have a building on that property.
Yeah, they're getting, it's a minor building, correct?
Yeah.
But it's not the full scale what their taxation.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And the other question on that is, are they paying enough taxes on that? That when they were approved, they agreed that they would continue paying taxes to at least equal what Science of the Soul's property was paying before, and they would continue doing that until the property on, that Amy's Kitchen was gonna be on, was paying that much taxes or more. So we should never be losing money on that, and I just don't know whether,
I'll get a write-up for you.
no, look, I just hope somebody's watching it, that's all.
No, we're watching the taxes that come in, but if there are clauses in there that state they should be paying more, then we'll take a look.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay.
I was unaware of it, so
Yeah,
thank you for bringing it to my attention.
just like, I know it was brought up at the planning board meeting the other day, that property has to maintain the road all the way out to, the traffic light.
That's correct, they do
Snow,
that.
snow plowing and the blacktop and all, okay?
They do that. They, I'm
Yeah, I
not
think-
sure who they hire a subcontractor to do
Yeah.
it. We do not plow that road.
Yeah, actually, I heard last year that the state actually went in for the first bit to get the, site center open, but whatever, as long as we're not
Yeah,
doing it.
we're not doing it. Our
Good.
trucks are not there.
Thank you very much. The grants administration, okay, one of the things that usually happens in grants is somebody gets paid to administer them. I'm wondering, is that grant writer also doing the administration of that, or who's doing that?
No, Karina takes care of the administration of them.
Okay,
My
that's a
part.
good answer. Okay, thank you. The only other question that I have, I have several questions really. For this year, for the first time, we have an ambulance district on there, which is $450,000. And my only question is, I don't know what that involves or what that covers, whatever. So my question let's start with the first question of, for $450,000, what's the town getting for that?
George, go ahead and shoot.
Just cutting right to the chase, basically, 400,000 is going from a BLS system, basic life support, to an ALS system, where you have paramedics who can shoot drugs and
Yep.
telemetry and so on and so forth. The $50,000 is going to a replacement. We're going to do 50,000 a year, maybe even
Capital.
more, to replace an ambulance, whatever the year's taken. Of course, now with 3,000 calls in a year, you go through ambulances at a quicker pace.
Sure.
So anyway, that's the way it stands right now.
Okay.
And we have full jurisdiction over that budget. They just, not unlike the fire department, they just go out. They have to come to us and we have to approve the budget before they get that money.
Okay. So,
And then one other thing is, it's 450 in tax monies or revenue, but basically, I think this year probably it'll be about 1.3 million in reimbursements from insurance companies, which go all the way from, believe it or not, no fault insurance is the best payers as far as reimbursements, all the way down to people who have no insurance and you have to write it off.
so at the time when we were discussing ambulance districts, I think that they were also indicated that they responded to at least 2 other municipalities. So the question there is, are those 2 municipalities also forming districts and are they contributing, or are we the only ones doing that?
So the 2 municipalities primarily is Village and Town of Goshen.
Yeah.
But there's about 50% of Hamptonburg. And Hamptonburg did not buy into the district, okay? So we're kind of on the horns of a dilemma here about, people in Goshen, they want to see everybody paying their fair share, right?
Yes, we do.
However, there's another side of the story. I mean, Joe is working on it, and hopefully it will be resolved with the 3 different supervisors. There's the supervisor of Montgomery, Blooming Grove, and Goshen, who at least had 1 meeting on this.
Correct, we've had 2 meetings.
Type of thing to see whether it's going to be resolved. But right at this particular point, I'll say it's a revenue producer. And the big revenue producer is the nursing home. We're basically there every day. So in order to, it would be easy to just say, okay, we'll write it off. You're not paying your fair share, we'll write it off. Maybe that'll happen in the future at some time. But right now, we're trying to generate as much revenue as we possibly can, so therefore, that's where it is.
Just, so I'm not aware of it. Which nursing home are we talking about?
Well, used to
One on
call.
207, right past Gates
Okay.
Schoolhouse
Yeah,
Road.
Campbell Hall.
Okay, so kind of a question, if I, again, I'm going back to, and you kind of hit on it. As a town of Goshen, where we're contributing our money, and I guess the village of Goshen's also contributing their money?
Yeah, a fund.
Okay, so what's the benefits to the residents of those two communities? Do they get a reduced billing? Because I know the other night at the meeting, George, you said they are gonna receive a bill after that. They are gonna receive a bill for the services. And so are we getting it at a lower rate since we're already contributing our taxes, both the village and the town, as opposed to Hamptonburg, or is Hamptonburg paying slightly more because of that? As like an out-of-district user. In sewer and water, out-of-district users tend to pay a percentage more.
Well, so, I mean, most of this stuff is regulated by the insurance company. You could bill them $10,000, that doesn't mean you're gonna get it.
I'm well aware of that.
So Medicaid pays a certain amount, insurance companies pay a certain amount. At some point in time, we're gonna have to make a decision here. So what I'm gonna add, I haven't asked it yet, but one of the things I need to ask is the ambulance district to give me a revenue report on what they generate out of that nursing home.
Yep.
So at least I could justify it to the residents of the town of Goshen. If we do away with this, and I'm throwing numbers out there, and they generate $400,000 a year in revenue, and we don't take that business, the tax district is gonna pay that $400,000. So we have to weigh that out.
Yep.
We are having meetings, myself, Bob Jerome, and the supervisor in Blooming Grove, and Supervisor Steve Brescher up in Montgomery. The problem that we have is the supervisor in Hamptonburg just doesn't like to spend money. You know, he keeps his taxes low for the people up there, and he says, well, somebody will cover them. You know, they have no fire department, I think, well, they have Campbell Hall Fire, right, but they got no ambulance, they got no police, they rely on other outside services. That's gotta come to a head.
Yeah.
I believe it's gonna come to a head when the governor mandates every municipality has to have an ambulance district. And then he's gonna have to figure out what he's gonna do. At that point, he'll do something with either all three of us or one of us or something to get his taxpayers to weigh in on this. But to answer your question, without being long-winded, to answer your question, if we look at that revenue report, and it's $300,000, that's a lot of revenue, that's gonna be burdened on the taxpayers of Goshen. So I'd come back to, we'd do a public hearing if we had to, come back to it and weigh it all out for you guys and say, this is what we're looking at doing, and get opinions on it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a cost-benefit analysis, and somebody's gonna
exactly.
figure it out, and I'm not sure what it is, and obviously at this point, none of us do. Because obviously, you're not getting $300,000 without having some expenses for that. Okay. Good, I think that's all I have in the ambulance district. The only other concern I have, and I'll say this, and I am concerned, the salary increases seem excessive at 8%. Anything I look at right now for COLA or cost of living increases, it's down around 3%, 3.5%. I kind of wonder how you're justifying more than double on that. It just seems out of line right now.
To who?
Pardon?
To who? What employees?
Whatever employees have any employee over 3%, I'm wondering why you're having that. And I didn't look at all of them, I didn't look at individuals. I just question why we're coming up with those numbers at this point in time when things are really in kind of a chaos.
I don't think we're in chaos.
No, I didn't say we were, the country, I didn't say we were, I'm sorry. Didn't mean it that way.
We went down and looked at it, we always felt that, this is the first time I think we went back to percentages in a while. Christine brought this up when she was here. It was always fair to give a flat number so that everybody increases equally, because if you give a percentage that somebody's at 90,000 and gets 3%, somebody's at 50,000 and gets 3%, it's so uneven. So we've always been used to giving, a flat rate to everybody across the board so everybody shares in that well. This is the first year we went back to percentage increases. I thought everybody was about 3.5%.
We did flat rates.
We did flat rates,
Yes.
again? Okay, I apologize, I thought we went back to percentages. So, we did a flat rate for everybody, but you're saying that percentage is higher than 5%?
I thought it was, I can verify that, but I can't do it right now. But yes, I thought that some of the officials were getting more than a 5%, more than a 3% increase. I could be wrong.
I'll look at it for you.
Okay.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Good, thank you. And I think that's really all I have for now. Thank you.
There was one other factor,
Okay.
and whether you call it a minor or a major, but last year, myself included, Joe, Mary, I think all the elected officials, there wasn't proper notice. so therefore we got no increase.
Mhm.
Correct, Mary?
Correct.
So that's why those particular officials got more than that. I'm just asking.
I'm just kind of telling you the kind of the history of it. I think that factored into it, I don't know how much.
Okay.
I'll give you a breakdown,
Sure.
no problem. I
Okay,
don't have
thank
it for
you.
you now, but I'll give you a breakdown.
Okay, good.
I'll send you an email,
Thank you.
all right? Would anybody else like to speak? All right, with that said, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? You don't need a roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we need
We got to vote on the budget?
we need a motion to,
Could I just say something?
Go ahead, sure.
Prior to that?
Yeah.
I don't know actually how I found this, but I do have a lot of papers. I'm kind of a hoarder at times, but you can get around my house. It's not like one of those situations where you have lots of papers. But anyway, my point is, I pulled out my 2008 town tax bill. And the amount of town tax that I paid was $244.09.
Wow.
So now, fast forward to 2025, last year, and I paid $208.32. So needless to say, that was what, like a drop of like $35. So I was kind of like shocked by that. And just now to fast forward to the calculation that I did for 2026, my tax bill, if I figured it out correctly, will be $245.32. So over the years, all of those years, we really did, I think, a remarkable job at keeping the taxes in check.
yeah, I mean, you look at the growth of the town and the town employees that we have and the size of the police department and the size of the building department. We've doubled the size of the building department. We've doubled, almost tripled the size of the police department. We've added new people in CSEA. We've done a lot of purchasing, and the taxes are less in today than they were in 2014. So I'm not saying it's going to be that way forever. But, I hear a lot of people talk about fiscal responsibility and things like that. I don't think you can get more fiscally responsible with growing the revenue and lessening the taxes every year. So I'll give you one, for instance, on what we do here. So our Fund 8 balance is $3.7 million. That's what it costs to run the town, $3.7 million. The taxpayers, all of us, account for 1.2 million of that. The 2.5 million is community host fees, taxation on mortgage tax. The hotel tax that we enacted is almost $1 million a year. Sales tax is huge. The county exec has done a phenomenal job splitting that up amongst us. It's based on population. Our population is growing. Our number grows every year. So we do, we have the lowest tax rate in Orange County. Town of Goshen residents are paying the lowest tax rate in Orange County because of all of this ancillary revenue that we have coming in. And we just want to keep it going. And, there are things that we do. We obviously, we want great economic growth. Don't get me wrong. I'm not looking to put, a 10-story Amazon building in Goshen. But, you do have to have you have to have economic growth in order to maintain that. It's not going to be here forever. So I think we've done a pretty good job. I think this board prior to me has done a great job, and I think the last 4 years, with the amount of work that we did in the last 4 years, I think we have done a phenomenal job. But anybody else? No? All right, so a motion to adopt the preliminary budget as adopted of the town of budget of 2026 as revised.
So moved.
Second, roll call.
Yes, please. Councilmember Gallo? Aye. Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Supervisor Battra?
Aye.
I did it.
Very good.
Good job on that.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the review of the IWS DEIS for completion. Got a couple of reports here that came in from Sean and from the applicant. We also have the report from the ERB who worked on that. So I'll turn it over to any board members that have any questions relative to the DEIS completeness.
We don't have anyone from the applicant here either, I just
Nope.
wanna make a note.
Right.
I will, briefly go through Sean's memorandum. I don't want to go through his entire letter, but since this resubmission, the determination of whether DIS is adequate for public review is based solely on the written deficiencies previously provided. Comments prepared by George, the ERB, and myself. The office identified 4 outstanding items in 2 categories. The first category recommends straightforward, easy language changes regarding fuel storage and the comprehensive plan. I think the applicant has done that and submitted it to us. The second, The second category addresses New York State Route 17 on Hartley Road intersection. They prepared a report for us. It's based on 3 traffic studies that were done. Amy's Kitchen traffic study, then the Dunkin' Donut traffic study, and then the last one was the Goshen Ready Mix. And they prepared a lot of documents for us. What we're asking them to do is actually do what they have to do in the scoping document, which is take those 3 reports and tell us how much of that traffic is affected by their trucks. That's what we're gonna ask them to do. But, any other comments? So, the ERB determined that it was complete. Sean has determined that it was complete based on the submission. So I'm gonna ask for a motion to deem the IWS DES as complete pending the satisfactory comments made by Engineer Hoffman in his memo.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? We need a roll call?
Yes, please. Councilman Cantorino?
Aye.
Councilman Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio?
Aye.
Councilmember Gallo?
Aye.
Supervisor Badger?
Aye. So next is we need to schedule a public hearing for IWS DIS on December 11th at 7 PM or sooner.
13th, is it 13th?
13th?
I don't know, I have the 11th.
You have the
You have
11th.
the 11th, okay, then let me.
It's no
Double
longer
check
13.
it, just in case.
I believe I said the 13th on a call
Okay, that's fine.
with you.
I changed my notes.
Yep, my fault.
Yes, it's the 11th is a Thursday.
11.
So it's December 11th?
December 11th at 7 o'clock. Could I have a motion to schedule a public hearing?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda is review and approve the request from Orange County Soil and Water Conservation District to waive the fees for permits needed for this project. I wasn't here for the last meeting. I know there were some comments on what was being done there and what we were required at the town of Goshen to do from an engineering perspective. My understanding, this is a DEC project. The DEC application is put into place. I spoke to Kevin Sumner. I also spoke to 2 other gentlemen on this. So essentially what they're doing is they're taking 3 feet of the ledge. They're not eliminating the entire ledge and the water's gonna flow downstream. They're taking 3 feet of the ledge so that the water, Quaker Creek and stuff, flows a little better through there. It's been engineered. The DEC permit has been approved. And all they're gonna be doing is taking about 3 feet of that ledge off of the Wallkill River. It should not and will not do any flooding. I don't know what the concerns were years ago when this was first brought up and why it was denied, but we have the backing of New York State, we have the backing of the DEC, we have the backing of Orange County, and Senator Skoufis gave them $450,000 to get it done. This is essentially a no-brainer for the municipalities. There are 5 municipalities that make up the Orange County soil. It's the town of Goshen and the town of Warwick are the 2 largest and the biggest contributors. The town of Minnesink, the town of Wawayanda, and there's one other town. Sorry, I can't remember the last town that make up this Orange County soil. So we attend meetings there. We
Menacing.
Town of Minnesota, okay, apologize. So we attend meetings there, we are responsible for delivering the messages that the soil group, works on and brings back, and we bring any comments to them. This is, something I think, that needs to be done, and we're not paying for it, so.
So I can weigh in a little bit on that, because when I was a legislator, I was on the Soil and Waters Commission. That was one of my responsibilities, and initially, they were gonna blast that whole ledge.
Correct.
Right.
And what was gonna happen is, as Neil remembered, it would have raised the level of the water and flooded the whole region out because they were blasting the whole ledge, which was holding it back. One of the real problems was that the water comes down from New Jersey, not from only our counties, and that's where, when there are heavy rains, the volume of water was coming from. This is 10 years ago, so finally, and there was not that much documentation as far as what would happen. There was not that much engineering. It really was made up of county legislator, 2 of us, a number of farmers, and
Right.
Sumner. And that was it. And what they were saying is, well, let's just blast it. They got $2 million as a grant, and they were just gonna go and blast it. So the thing was put on hold until they could do a lot of studies. And the last time we talked about it, that's what I had asked for. I said, okay, where's the data and the documentation? And they have provided it.
Yep.
And the project is a hell of a lot less.
Correct, you're not taking out the entire ledge.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm all for it.
Well,
but
you were there.
I just
you were
wanted to
there.
give you some history
Yeah, no,
as
Appreciate
to
the
what was
insight.
going on. Yeah,
Appreciate the insight.
okay.
Any
So,
other questions from anybody else?
Well,
on the board?
just a comment before we go on with it. Essentially, all we're doing is it's about $250 or maybe
Right.
$300 to waive some of the fees. However, I spoke with Frank Leva today, and the thing that they have to get passed is the floodplain development permit, which is not gonna be issued by us. It's gonna be Frank, and Sean is going to do a whole, from what he told me, a whole bunch of work on this to make sure that it is going to be correctly done. So I was quite happy with that it's not just that tonight we're waiving $300 or something like that. We hopefully will do that, but then this other thing still has to be done between Frank and Sean Hopper.
let's waive the fee.
All right, so could I have a motion to waive the administrative and permit fee?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda, review and approve the resolution adopting the Orange County 2025 multi-jurisdictional multi-hazard mitigation plan. That's a lot of words.
Oh, it's a lot of plan.
Yes, about 60 pages.
Yeah, right.
So, my understanding that Sean Broderick and Frank were involved in this, they reviewed the plan, the town was part of a county's multi-jurisdictional, multi-hazard mitigation plan, which was coordinated by the County Division of Emergency Management. Last week, the county advised FEMA approved the town's annex to the county plan. The county has requested that the town start the process of formal adoption. This consists of town board adopting the attached resolution. So, any questions on the resolution?
Nope.
Nope. George, anything?
No,
All right, well, that was an easy one.
Yep.
Can I have the motion?
Yep, make a motion.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Need a
You need a roll call?
Roll call, right? Yeah.
Councilmember Gallo?
Aye.
Councilmember Florio? Councilmember Lyons?
Aye.
Councilmember Cantorino?
Aye.
Supervisor Petra?
Aye. Next item on the agenda is review and approve the resolution adopting the Dial-A-Bus of Goshen and Chester Title VI plan. It's a plan that we sign every year with the county.
Yeah, it's for the FDA.
Plan's attached in there. Do I have any questions on it?
It's no different from years past, correct? There are no changes.
Nope.
Well, again, it was a lengthy, if you read all the attachments to it, but on
Yeah.
page 9, I believe it was, there's supposed to be public outreach. Now, Gary, you basically said that there is already public.
Well, we notify the public dial bus is available, I mean,
You know, things like putting it on Facebook, what the
Correct.
hours are and stuff, maybe having a presentation at a town board meeting, you know, some
Maybe
outreach
senior center.
along that
Yeah.
line, or the,
Yeah.
senior center. But essentially, I think a lot of it's being done already, it's just that in the report, it was vacant. The report did not actually have it, and that was on page 9.
so we should just go back in
And it's just a-
and add to that what we do. I mean, I know it's robust, we have a ton of people that use dial bus, so, maybe we should just go back in and
Michelle and
add to
Broderick
that.
will add to it.
Have Michelle just go back in and add it to it? She does all of that. All right, so, any other questions on it?
No?
All right, so can I have a motion to approve the resolution adopting the Dial-A-Bus Goshen and Chester Title VI plan with the changes to item number 9?
So moved.
It's actually page 9.
Page 9.
Page
Right.
9.
Second?
All in, roll
I
call?
need a roll call.
Yeah.
Councilmember Cantorino.
Aye.
Councilmember Lyons.
Aye.
Councilmember Florio.
Aye.
Councilmember Gallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Badger.
Aye. Next item on the agenda is the appointment of Jonathan Barajas as a full-time police officer at step 1.
So he's part-time now, correct?
He's part-time now, correct?
And this is not an additional person,
No.
it's a replacement person.
Right.
Right.
Yep. He's replacing an officer that will be leaving us.
Yep. Good.
Any questions?
No?
So,
Motion?
could I have a motion to approve the appointment of Jonathan Barajas?
So moved.
Second? Need a roll call on that?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so next item is something that we've been working on for 3 years. Finally got the powers to be in Albany, moving forward with this. So we are going to look at putting together a community preservation plan for the adoption of a PDR program. The senator has just graciously given Chester their PDR. Warwick has been doing it for years. I don't know if, is everybody familiar what a PDR is?
No.
Okay, so a PDR is the municipality purchasing development rights so that we can keep farms and people that are looking to sell, they don't go to solar farms or warehouses or what have you. We purchase the development rights. We've done that 3 times already. Knoll Road, the farm on Knoll Road, we own the rights. The citizens of Goshen own the rights to that. We have Brookfield and, John, what's the last one? North,
Blues Way.
North Star?
what is it?
North Star.
North Star. So those are three locations where farmers have received money for the development rights. They could never develop a property. The town of Goshen's residents own that. That was done back in 2009. It was part of a grant, 50% underwritten by the county,
Yeah.
50% underwritten by the taxpayers of Goshen. That will come to an end. We'll finally have that paid off in 2028?
Yeah.
2028. It's about $400,000 a year we pay, the taxpayers of Goshen paid to preserve those properties. What we're looking to do now is put together a community preservation plan, and then develop a PDR so that we can go to the state legislature and get it approved. What that basically does is create the ability for a tax on residents, commercial businesses, or anything that's being sold in the town of Goshen of 1%. They sell their property, it goes into 1%, it's a preservation plan, gives us the ability to purchase PDR rights to farms and locations to be forever green. Early stage, I don't want to get everybody excited, I know it's a controversial issue, don't want to get everybody excited. All we're here to do tonight is to talk about, starting to develop the preservation plan and forming a committee to talk about what we want to do, how we want to do it. It still has to be approved, public hearings, I'm sure there'll be for and against it, but I just want to make sure everybody understands. Very early stage, you won't see it probably for another 12 months, not in the next session, probably the following session before we get it approved.
I just want to comment a couple of things about this that I think are really great. So the PDR protects our most important assets, water, open space, quality of life, keeps taxes down, and balance growth with maintaining green spaces in our community. It is also proven that it builds value in our community. What I really like about this too is it says the creation of parks and recreation areas. So these are areas that we can use as the preservation of ecological important areas, the preservation of historical places, and protecting farmland from future development. So in the initial, I love this. I think it's a great thing, and I hope that we can look at this further and incorporate this at some point for Goshen.
Just a question. This is based on a transfer tax?
Transfer tax, 1%,
And
correct?
Senator Skoufis was in favor of the Chester position?
Yeah, he just got,
I mean,
Chester just got theirs last month. Montgomery's already applied for it next session.
To my recollection, he wasn't in favor of Chester's position years ago. He's changed his mind, obviously.
Yeah,
And
he's, that's a question for the senator. Yeah, but he basically changed his
But
mind.
hopefully he will
Yeah.
look favorably upon Goshen's decision here, even when that happens.
He's already written a letter to us. He told us what the steps are. This is step one. Yes.
Because he was getting a lot of pressure from realtors and builders and things like that,
It's a very controversial plan, John, that's for sure. That's why I said it's gonna take a lot of thought, and, I wanna get, at least one or two people from the public involved in the commission. We'll take people from the ERB and the planning board, and somebody from the town board, and develop a plan that, that fits Goshen. Every plan is different. And, I initially said to him, could we just do it on commercial? He said, no, it can't just be commercial. It's gotta be every taxable entity in the town.
Yeah, I think it should be a part of that. That'd be great.
So I agree with what Melissa's saying. I think it has a lot of benefits. And then when I was in this afternoon, Jody gave me the copy of the law
Yep.
from Chester. So I read it, and interesting. So an $800,000 house, if it was being transferred in Chester, I don't know what's gonna happen here. In Chester, it's 0.75%. So that would amount to $6,000 that would have to be paid when the person is selling that particular house. The other thing that's interesting about it is it's subject to a mandatory referendum pursuant to section blah, 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 and so on and so forth. So not only is there public hearings, apparently there's a mandatory referendum as well. So there's a lot of checks and balances here before it goes into effect.
Great.
Good.
You want this back?
No, you can have like a normal.
Just add it to your stack of papers, George.
What? I didn't hear what you said.
It was
Add it to your stack
about
of
your
papers.
hoarding.
Oh, yeah, you mean at home?
All right, so like I said, I don't want to get anybody watching on home, anybody here in the audience, I don't want to get them, this is a long process, and it will be a thought-out process, and we'll investigate the pros and cons of the plan. All right, next item on the agenda is to review and approve the town board minutes dated October 9th, 2025. Anybody questions? Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Item number 8, I don't know if it's on there, but Melissa is going to give us an update on the JRC, where we are, what we're doing with
I
great
just-
things at the park there.
Yeah, I did the recap, but I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to send it to everyone. So I just wanted to give everyone a recap with JRC. Right now, Erie Park, I just want to thank Councilman Florio for being part of our meeting last night. So the Erie Park project, the basketball and the pickleball courts have been sealed. Hopefully, we're going to be painting the courts this weekend. Right now, we're getting quotes for park and picnic benches that hopefully will have some synergy with some of the other benches that we've done. The playground equipment is in the States, and the delivery to Goshen is expected mid next week, and installation of the playground equipment, I believe, is going to be 10/31 or 11/3, depending upon weather. Fencing, we're still getting some quotes for that, to fence the perimeter of the park. And the pavilion will be, the location is going to be decided once the playground equipment has been installed, just so we can get an idea of where it would be most reasonable. Did I miss anything?
Any idea on, just a question, any idea on timeframe of how long it'll take to get the pavilion up? Will it be done before winter, or is it
We're
before?
hoping to do it before winter.
Before winter, yeah, they're hoping to have this done before the winter, which would be great. Just some updates for Craigville. As we know, the town has applied for a grant to update the kitchen and the pavilion. That's still ongoing. We need a new well pump out there. The cost is approximately between $8,500 and $9,000. I put $9,000 for the high side. It does have an 18-year lifespan, so hopefully that will carry us through. I've been in touch with a New Windsor councilwoman. She shared plans for their approved splash pad. As you know, we received a grant from Senator Skoufis's office for a community pool, but we want to pivot those monies to use it for a splash pad. So we just got the sketches for that. The town is in the process of getting a land survey done for 67 acres adjacent to the park. We're looking to add additional playing fields and additional parking. One biggest complaint is the parking is really difficult at Craigville. Insufficient. So we're gonna work on that. We're also looking to create an additional park entrance on the other side off of Old Chester Road, which would enable residents who live at Heritage Estates and Arcadia Hills better access to the parks. We also received 2 quotes from fencing companies to put in an automated gate and fencing around that park as well, eventually to upgrade that. I don't know when that'll happen, but that's something we're just getting quotes for. Salesian, we're getting multiple quotes for the Phragmite removals at Salesian Pond. Not many companies are licensed to do it, but you have to be highly specialized. It's a 2-step process, but we are looking into that. Ganley Park, I walked the park with Tam and Rick. We received a quote for a new basketball court, playground equipment, and resurfacing of the pavilion. The plan is to use parkland fees for the project, and I have to review that with JRC at our next meeting in November. And then just general joint rep meets the second Tuesday every month in the village hall at 7 p.m. and your public input is always welcome and appreciated. So lots of really great things going on with the parks.
Thanks, Melissa, appreciate that. Next, we're gonna have, Phil's gonna give us an update.
Okay, so, thank you, Joe, for putting me on the agenda. I really want to talk about battery storage units, but before I do, I'll give you a brief update as to where we are in the comprehensive plan. Hopefully, we will have a draft copy of the whole plan to you by next month, hopefully before the end of the year. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get it adopted because there'll have to be a public hearing and so on and so forth. But every little piece of this particular plan, the zoning and what have you, takes on a life of its own. And it's a whole entity that you talk about. It's not just part of a whole plan. When you do zoning or even commercial areas or the height of a building or the setbacks or anything residential, it just takes on a life of its own. And when you have 10 people with 10 different opinions and you try to reach a consensus, it really does take a lot of time. We've accelerated the meetings, but we were waiting primarily for the traffic report and the water study. Well, both of those are done now, and it's like getting a puzzle and just those missing pieces. We've got the missing pieces put together. We have the goals and objectives pretty well done, and we're just doing a little bit of the zoning. And these are all recommendations. We're not changing anything, but we're going to drop some of the zoning areas and add some of the zoning areas. We lost our attorney, but we gained a planner, which was a good thing. But hopefully we will have this thing done, and you will have the draft copy. You will read it, send it back to us with any changes or what you have the public hearing, and maybe we can move on and get this master plan out of my hair that I just don't have any.
Took it away.
But I'm not sure how many meetings we had, but it's in the 30s, 40s, or 50s over the last year. But they've all been really productive. I have a fantastic committee. I know, Neil, you came to some of the plans, so you know it's like, as I said, it's like herding a bunch of cats. It's really, really difficult. However, I'm very positive about that. One of the items that we recently talked about, and there was a lot of discussion about, was battery storage units. And where we stand, how we're looking at that as far as what will it contribute to the town of Goshen and what kind of risks are we looking at and so on and so forth. I have just prepared a very basic list. We had so many. And these are some of the areas that we're looking at, and it's very basic. But just for instance, with these battery storage units, we'll take the technical end of it. You'll have thermal runaway fires because overcharging or internal short circuiting or external heat, the effect will be a fire or explosion due to exomatic chemical reactions in lithium batteries. And apparently these lithium batteries are pretty unstable. So another one is, we'll look at electrical risks. If there's overvoltage or overcurrent, that can damage the cells and trigger fires again. An arc flash hazard during maintenance or installation, you have to worry about fire. Mechanical damages, if there's any vibration, something hits it, or any internal shorts, once again, it creates a fire, an internal fire. We have lithium-ion batteries. They can emit toxic gases, so they catch fire. You know where I'm going on this whole thing. Fire suppression is very, very challenging. And you can't use water, chemicals, sodium, lithium. There's a real problem with containing any type of battery storage fire because they're internal. But so you have structural failures that could increase fire again and spread the fire. Toxic material releases, the leaks of fire can release heavy metals, electrolytes, or other hazardous compounds. We have a problem with disposal of any of those compounds. So you have insurance, may require stricter insurance for fire safety measures and changes in the premiums on the insurance of these. Inadequate training. Improper training of maintenance will dramatically increase the risk, and we don't have proper training. I mean, we don't even know, especially in this area, what the extent of the training will be. So we don't have that. There's poor emergency planning. On the procedures during thermal events can be the worst outcome. You also have network commercial. If there's cyber, then that can, a cyber attack or a possible data breach, create fires in this thing. So there are a lot of risks. I only just point out a couple of them that I pulled off with these battery storage units. What is the benefit to the town of Goshen? I have nothing on that side of the ledger. So at this particular point, we need to do a lot more research on these. I think they're gonna come fast and furious. When people see that there's a hole in the dike, the first thing they do is everybody rush to get in there first before it's stopped. They see a hole in this dike with battery storage. I don't know, we have an overlay district. I'm not sure how that came about. But what I'm going to ask the board now for is a moratorium on battery storage units until we can study this even further. So I don't know how we go about this, but that's our request, and our whole comprehensive plan committee had asked if we would do this so we could study it.
So I think I mean, obviously, we can't do anything tonight, but I think it requires us to put together a,
It's not unlike what we've done.
we did for
past with
solar, exactly.
arrays.
Yeah. We have one application that's in place. I don't think it would affect that.
Two.
We have two places?
One's active, one just
Came in.
essentially just came in. They're both Hartley Road, because that's the overlay. There's one on
That's
one
the
end of Hartley
overlay
Road,
district,
and
yeah.
one on the other end of Hartley.
And the one thing I just want to point out is that when they brought the plan to the planning board, it did not comply with our zoning. They went to the zoning board of appeals with a number of requests.
Correct.
And it's my understanding that the zoning board of appeals gave them waivers on everything that I asked for.
No,
And maybe you can tell me.
I don't have my notes in front of me, but
Okay.
my recollection is that they've asked for public hearing with all three, because they have to come before all three, so they're looking for a public hearing, a joint public hearing or with all three boards. They have not been granted variances.
They have not been granted the variances yet.
No, they've appeared before the ZBA a
Right.
number of times. I'll confirm that
Okay.
in the next couple minutes. Let me just pull up my notes on it,
Perfect.
but that's my, off the top of my head.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear that, yeah, okay, thank you. So that's where I'm at, if we can just put something together, maybe a moratorium. This is a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous situation, you know, Warwick had one, it took them, what, 5 days for the fire to burn itself out. The remedy is let it burn itself out. Well, there's so much toxic stuff inside that if it explodes or whatever, and they will, lithium does, it's a real problem. So I think we really have to move cautiously on this.
They went through it extensively also at the last planning board meeting. I know that there were a lot of questions, so I think, to your point, there were a lot of questions.
Yeah, there are a
Well,
lot.
they had a fire inspector there, he was extremely intelligent gentleman. I mean, I think he answered everybody's questions. I don't know if the planning board liked the answers on some of them, but he did. But that did scare me a little bit when your answer is to let the fire burn out. That's,
Yeah, because there's toxic material on the inside, if it gets damaged, because it's so hot inside, if that capsule gets damaged, all of those toxic fumes and material goes into the ground and into the air. I'm not sure if we should really need to take that type of risk.
It's definitely worthy of
well, there's
caution.
no, I can tell you, there's no benefit to the town. It's not like we make anything off of it, it's not like.
Right,
This
right.
is strictly, you know, you buy at a low price, it's
Yeah.
it's essentially
Yeah.
the BESS Ponzi scheme. You buy at a low price, you sell at a high price the next day. So,
I just want to I
Yeah.
confirm that,
Yeah,
that it's at the request was to go to a public hearing with all three boards. And it's
Right.
sitting there right now.
and they need a special use from us, and if you remember clearly, I told them when they were here that we would, most times they're coming to look for an approval of the application, and I said we would not approve not only the application, but we wanted to know the equipment that was being installed, and the special permit will only have that equipment.
Right.
And that's a problem for a lot of these guys, because they sell these off.
That's right.
They come in, they're developers, they sell it off to another company, so, you know, we're gonna keep, I'm
Yes.
hoping that the board keeps in tune with that, because there's a House resolution that strictly says that the electricity is part of the grid and Chinese equipment shouldn't go in it. So a lot, the biggest manufacturers of this battery storage and lithium batteries are Chinese manufacturers.
right. And I made it quite clear at most of our meetings that I did not want to encourage these people to do that, because I had already done some research and saw the risk factors in that. And when they were here, they came for a meeting, we did not get any adequate answers to any of our questions. They could not provide any of the data, other than to say, well, it's all right, I mean, it'll be okay, or whatever, I'm paraphrasing, obviously. So I did not want to encourage anyone, so if there was any kind of legal action that they want to take, because they came here and they would say, well, you encouraged us to go further, we spent a lot of money, that is not the case, so.
Well,
just
I
wanted to
mean,
make
that would only,
clear.
that would only be one applicant who's gone through the full process, who's almost at the point where he's gonna be looking for his approvals. The new applicant, I don't even know about it, did it
Yeah.
just come in?
Just,
As far as I know,
recently.
it just came in the last
About 2
week or
weeks
two.
ago.
you're right,
Okay.
yeah,
All right, well, let's.
Thank you.
Let's put it together and,
Noted.
yeah, thank you.
all right, what's next? On the agenda is discuss, what's that? Finance,
sorry.
yeah. Discuss and approve a motion to authorize the supervisor to pay accounts payable check run October 23rd, 2025 in the amount of $391,960.99.
So moved,
Second. All in favor?
aye.
Privilege of the floor.
Good evening once again, Chris Healy, Town of Goshen. I'd like to thank Councilman Cantorino for his words on the battery energy storage system. Mary, I do have a lot to say tonight, so if you have to play me off with the music at some point, I understand. But it's valuable added to the meeting. It is difficult, if not impossible, for me to sit in these seats sometimes and listen to the things that are said to our boards, to our planning, or to our zoning. Just last Thursday, New Leaf did come in, they talked to our planning board, and at that meeting, I heard a lot of stuff, and to not jump out of my seat and just scream, "You're lying," was very, very difficult. Some of the things that were said, at one point they compared the lithium-ion battery in our Tesla cars to the battery energy storage system. Look, you're charging your car with your house. You're charging a battery energy storage system with a lightning bolt. They are not the same. The heat generated is intense. It leads many times to a thermal runaway. I will say this, while these battery energy storage systems are burning less frequently, they are still burning. And any town that you're placing one is a test bed. They are learning as they go. I said before, I believe this is a necessary technology. However, we're not there yet. If you're doing this out in the desert, if you're doing this in a lab, that's where this needs to be done. It's not ready for prime time. It's certainly not ready for Goshen. Once again, you know, comparing the Tesla battery and the charging to a BESS system is a stone and a boulder are made of the same material. You get hit with a boulder, it's a whole different outcome. They are not the same. The other thing that their fire specialist said was that according to their results that they had from battery energy storage system fires before, they set up smoke detection and around the perimeter, and they found that outside of the perimeter, they did not have any chemicals coming off of the fire. This time of year, we all know you smell that beautiful wood. Neighbor's got his fireplace going, or the fire pit's going. I passed Tilcon the other day with the asphalt plant that operates right there. I had to hold my breath. You can smell it up to Northgate all the way to Millburn if the wind is blowing right. In the fire service, we say if you can smell it, you're already exposed. That New Leaf said that, giving the opinion that we've tested it and you're not going to smell the smoke outside the perimeter, I was infuriated, and not a single member of the planning board pushed back. It was a long meeting, but you just can't let that go. I applaud this board's movement. If you're going to put in a moratorium, someday this will be ready. I don't think it's today. I really don't think it belongs in Goshen. I thank you for your work on that. Following up on what Mr. Halloran said earlier, I did see the pay increases in the budget. I just assumed it's because you have to listen to me twice a month. I thought it was worth it. I want to say, listen, there was a tragedy in Wawayanda last night. Nobody died, but part of their town did. Amazon is the largest of their mega warehouses, distribution centers that are going through the planning stages in that town. Their process is the same as ours. It's set by the New York State town law. They have a planning board, zoning, town board. The warehouse builder said, we need to go 100 feet tall. And planning said, that's outside the code. You got to go to zoning. And the warehouse builder didn't mind. He knew how this would end. They played the game, they went to zoning, they were denied the variance. Again, the warehouse builder didn't mind because they know how this is going to end. You see, this is all warehouse builders do. They have a staff of lawyers that carve up a town's codes, and they have piles of cash to bankrupt a town if they don't bend the knee. You can watch the video from last night's meeting in the town of Wawayanda. The builder had a lawyer find some arcane piece of town code, and they weaponized it. And somewhere between zoning denying the variance and the next planning board meeting, the town realized they didn't have control of their town or their own fate. The warehouse builder wants what they want, and they have an army of lawyers to get it. And you might ask, how do we get to this point? Why did they choose that location? It's the same reason that our secular religious builders to the south were held at bay for so long. It's the water. It was 20 years in the making, but as soon as they tapped into the New York City aqueduct, growth was explosive, and you see it on the drive down 17. So here we are in Goshen with 3 mega warehouses in planning and another on the way. And why are they here? Because the town of Goshen is planning to give them a water pipeline right down 17M. Is it a coincidence that the 2 mega warehouses planned for 17M suddenly came back to life at the same time the town applied to the state for a water district? No, it's not coincidence. Look, I know you think these people want to be your friend. They don't. They are not equal. They may let you think we're equals, but they already know how this ends. It ends with 17M looking like Newark, New Jersey. I don't mean the good part. It ends with them building giant structures that don't fit in Goshen, and then they leave. And they leave the traffic, the noise, and the pollution. And it all started when you gave them water. I've been saying this for 2 years now. On that note, the town applied to create a new water district. Did that application include how much it's gonna cost and who's gonna pay for it? Did the application include the map plan and report? Has any board member seen the map plan and report for this new commercial water district? No, I'm asking, has any board member seen the map plan and report? As a reminder, we've all been waiting for this board to vote officially to form the new water district. We haven't done that yet. It was about a year ago, Supervisor Betro, you said when we vote to approve it, and Councilman Lyons said, if we approve, that has not been taken yet. That vote hasn't been taken yet. But we've got, by my account, about 100,000 into this. We've made an application, and board members haven't even seen the map plan and report. How do you feel about that? I don't feel good about it. I don't suppose I'm in any position to demand anything, but you are spending our tax dollars on what is going to change the west side of town. And I understand ratables. I also understand that we've got some of the lowest taxes for years and years and years, and this board's to be commended for that. On the other hand, you did it without mega warehouses. You did it without a commercial water district. I think before this board is going to vote on the water district, and it comes as a surprise to nobody that that vote's going to come sometime after November 4th. Board members, please make sure that we, the people, get to see the map plan report. We want to see it very soon.
So, if I can just comment on things. I know your position on warehouses, and I know you're making an assumption that warehouses came here because we're bringing water and sewer. I can tell you from experience, if they don't have commercial water and sewer, all you're gonna get is a warehouse with 6 employees in it. Because they gotta go septic and well. If you get a water and sewer district in here, then your manufacturing and assembly facilities will come in here. They'll bring revenue in from the people that are working here. I understand your frustration, don't get me wrong. You know, you guys live in Rolling Ridge and in your backyard to it. I feel for Alan and John, I've been to their house. If they don't ask for variances, they can build as of right. Warehouses will go there, you can't stop it. It was a commercial district that was formed 50 years ago. We have no control over that. Believe me, Chris, you can check with attorneys, you can check with who you want. As of right, they're gonna build that warehouse. It's our job to try to keep it from just being a warehouse.
And I'll agree with what you said. If they don't need a variance, first of all, every single plan from these warehouses needs a variance because they are trying to build on every single inch of that land. They want setback variances, they want height variances, they want to put garages facing.
That's where you stop.
Once again, Mr. Supervisor, what I'm saying is that even though zoning can say, planning can say go to zoning, zoning can say no to the variance, they just come back and sue planning, and the reason they're doing this is the water. Hey, you know what? You may be right. Maybe they will. Then we're just going to disagree with it. But I will say this.
If I could just say something. Don't compare what happened in Where We Are on what may or may not happen here. That was a totally different scenario. The zoning board approved it and then reversed it.
The zoning board didn't reverse it. Planning overrode them.
The zoning board initially approved it and said height is not a problem. Then they denied it on something else. Go back and look at it. I've been following it.
I've been following it, and they said no to the height, which kills Amazon's, that particular Bluebirds. They need the height to do what they want. They could make it smaller. They could make it lower, but they want what they want. They've got a team of lawyers to do it. Once again, what they have out there is an unlimited supply of water. They run the pipeline right up 17M. Route 6. What I'm saying is that RDM came to town. They started with 2602. They got all the way through planning. They're ready to go. That approval ran out on December 20th, 2024. And I know that because I checked with buildings. And then they had their lawyer weasel something out, and they got another 1-year extension. To this day, they still haven't put a truck out there. They haven't moved a blade of grass because they're waiting for the water. Same thing with the 2 across the street. They want what they want, And what I'm saying is, why would they build a thing if they know they have water coming? Tell them they don't have water coming, let's see what happens then. At least it's something smaller. At least it's something that the residents can deal with. I know, the part that kills me is that I agree with almost everything you do, Mr. Supervisor. On this one, you and I, we just don't agree, and that's okay. And that's okay. You're gonna fight your fight, and I'm gonna fight my fight. Are you calling me off? Am I done?
The alarm was supposed to indicate that, but
I didn't.
but you
I'm intrigued.
You got an extra.
I don't want to argue with you. I really don't want to argue with you. My only difference, and I just want to be clear, you're not going to stop them from building. As of right, they have a right to build on their commercial property. They pay a lot of money for it. Now, if we as a town want to go back and say, we'll pay you $12 million for your 3 parcels of property, and the taxpayers are going to say, yeah, let's kick it up, we'll do it, we can do that.
I can tell you this, that the residents of Howard, Rolling Ridge, we've all said the same thing. If you build within your codes and ordinances, there's really not much we can do about it. We get that.
Let's hold them to that.
We get that. Giving them water changes that.
It only makes it better.
It makes it better for them, not us.
It makes it better for us. It puts more people, more workers, more revenue coming into the town for all the businesses around the town. That enriches the town.
It enriches.
I don't want a warehouse.
But it enriches the town at the expense of the neighborhoods that are there.
But you just said it. If they build a warehouse or they build a facility with employees,
Go ahead.
and they build it to spec, you're okay with
Build a
it.
warehouse and drill a well and see if they can get enough water out of the ground, because they can't.
Yeah,
So
then you
it's-
get a warehouse. That's my point.
That's my point. So they'll look at that and say, this really doesn't work for us. Let's move
But that
on.
property, all those parcels were purchased by the developers long before we even started talking about a water and sewer district. Long before. You know that.
I know that, but there's so much going on behind the scenes, and we know that. Once again, they're 10 steps ahead of us the whole time. Once again, they're coming. No reason for us to make it harder or easier for them. And as Councilman Lyon said over a year ago, you put unlimited water and sewer out there with all that land that's ripe for high-density housing. I don't care about your zones. I don't care about your ordinance. They sue right through them. They just showed us the other night in Waiwayanda. I thank you for the time. I appreciate the extra time. My name's Chris Healy.
Always take as much time as you want, and feel free to come in and we can haggle all day long.
Thank you,
You know
Mr.
I'm always
Supervisor.
here. I love haggling with you.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to talk about,
State your name.
Jim Evers,
Just for the
Case
record.
House Road. I wanted to talk about Maple Avenue. I know, it's a county road. But you had helped that one neighborhood with the, trash pickup, and they had a lot of noise.
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the air around it is basically Goshen, right? So the Jake's brakes, I was thinking, if you can't, stop trucks from going on the road, can we somehow back up the noise ordinance on those Jake's brakes? I looked at your Rule 7020, and the number K, M, and O all talk about, the noise levels. And those things, now, I don't know if you all know where I live. I'm not right on Maple Avenue, but those things sound like they're right there. So I can't imagine the people that are, less than 50 feet from Maple Avenue, what they hear. Expect,
What did you say? I'm sorry, what section? Just so I.
Rule 720.
7020 K, M, and O.
So I can tell you from experience over at the quarry, writing a noise ticket is the most impossible thing in the world to defend. Because you have to be there at the time the noise happens, it has to be recorded at the time the noise happens. It's almost impossible to defend. So if they're humming down that road, and it's a problem, you're hearing that because it's bouncing down the road with their load. We'll get the cops out there. We'll follow them until they make the left on Gate Schoolhouse Road, and then we'll pull them over. But that's about all we can do. But I just want to, I'm not trying to shut you down. I know from experience, noise complaints and noise violations are the hardest thing to write and the hardest thing to defend.
I agree.
is there anything else we can do, or?
It's, again, Maple Avenue doesn't have a weight restriction because it's a county road.
Cause if
All
we
we
get
can-
these warehouses in, it's gonna get even worse. I mean, it'll just be
Well,
back.
they have no way they're gonna come down Maple Avenue, there's no reason for them to come down Maple
Well,
Avenue.
they're coming
Chris,
down
what's the reason
now.
to come down
I
Maple
counted
Avenue?
Because as soon as
80
17M is backed up, they're on all the back roads, they follow
What are we
Waze or
doing?
Google
What are we
Maps.
doing?
It
What are we doing?
already
What are we
happens.
doing, Chris?
Yeah, no, I asked
What are we
a
doing?
question. I asked a question.
You're at 13 minutes already.
I'm being charged by the minute?
That's
That's
how
how
I
I
ordered. Yes, that's gonna happen.
So it's, just, I don't know where you live, so tell me where you live, I'll have a police car there, just watch this and see what we can do for you.
Okay, I'm on 141 Gate Schoolhouse Road. That's a corner of Maple Avenue and Gate Schoolhouse Road.
Pray that they make the left on Gate Schoolhouse Road, then we can do something.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Okay, good luck you. Oh, God.
Marie,
Oh.
haven't heard from you in a long time, Marie.
I got 3 things now.
All right.
I gave you. I'm Marie Hartman, Gate Schoolhouse Road. So the first thing is I noticed you put a speed thing on my road. That was great, so I wanted to thank you for that. I have a question. Does that give you any recording data? Can you tell like the average speed, how many cars? Does it give you anything like that?
It depends on what camera's out there, I can't answer that the one out there does it, but some of them are LPRs that record the license plate, record the time, record the speed, yes, we have it all.
If it does that, would that be printed on the town website? Because it'd be very interesting to how many, when I go to work, I gotta wait 10 minutes at 7:45 in the morning to make a turn. Because there is so much traffic on my road. It wasn't like that when I first moved here.
Make a left-hand turn
Turn.
onto Maple?
Yeah, from Gate Schoolhouse Road, gotta make a left to
Yeah.
go to work, and at 10 minutes you have to wait sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
I-
quick,
I-
because
I
they
can
come
tell
in
you
from
the
that
other-
Warwick and turn.
The other day, I got so tired of waiting, I made a right and went house to the road and came around.
Yes, well, that's away from where I have to work, and I barely have minutes.
No, I'm just saying, I wasn't saying you should do that. I'm saying I understand what your frustration was, because I sat there for 10 minutes and I couldn't make a left-hand turn.
I mean, just to get my mail, it's 5 minutes sometimes, waiting to get across the street. Until they see my gray hair, some people might slow down and let me cross the street. My second thing is, Mr. Canarino, thank you for bringing up that battery issue. I feel very strongly about it. I feel very nervous about it. I sit in these zoning boards and all these meetings, and that gentleman that gets up that talks about the fire safety and prevention, I don't believe a word he says because they're paying him. Is there any way we could get an independent fire person? We have retired fire guys here that know that guy's lying. But can you get an independent, maybe is there someone from our town in the fire department that could come and give us, a neutral opinion? Because that guy is here, he's getting paid to be here to defend them.
I could request it from the chairman of the planning board that they seek out a consultant to either agree or disagree with their consultant, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that would be important, especially if you're not gonna do a moratorium and we're gonna go down the road with these people on Hartley, I think that's really important. Because they're all basing their decision on a guy that's getting paid to be here. And he likes to talk, he's enjoying getting paid to be here.
Someone I know.
I don't get paid to be here.
I was worried.
It's a fireman thing.
I'm here
I
away,
was looking at
It's a fireman thing.
Nice.
I'm here away from my family. I'm one of the few people in this room that do not get paid to be here. My third thing was just a quick thing to Ms. Gallo. You mentioned that we got a grant for a pool,
Yes.
and you're going to put in a splash pad?
Well, we had put in a grant for a community pool, and we weren't sure if we could use that, pivot it to more of a splash pad, which would be, I guess, a little safer, and, for the camps, they don't have water. Right now, talking about firemen, my husband actually goes to the camp and brings a fire truck on really hot days and sprays the kids down. So that's the extent of the water, recreation at the camp.
Because I'm all for the kids, and I think it's great, the parks, all that's important, but it would be nice for something like the adult people. Like, I would love a pool. I spend probably $100 to swim every month, and we don't have a pool, there's no pool in the school.
I've been pushing for that for 20 years.
So the grant from the senator was for $750,000. I thought that was great. We could build a pool for $750,000.
You can't?
And I went to the pool company, said a municipal pool's gonna cost you somewhere between $3 and $5 million.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so that's why you put in a
The
splash
splash
pad.
pad's right in that
Different
sweet
insurance,
spot of
yeah.
750 that we were looking at, so.
Okay, makes sense,
So went
then
back
it
to the
just,
senator, he said, now you're gonna have to apply somewhere else, that's the most I can give you. And then I spoke to the supervisor in New Windsor and in Warwick, and they told me their $750,000 was just about enough to cover for a splash pad. Then we looked into the insurance portion of it, and our insurance agent said,
Right.
good deal, that's smart.
Much
The
better
pool
than
would have
pool.
been very, very expensive,
Yeah.
lifeguards.
For the maintenance.
Oh, yeah.
all that.
So
Okay.
I feel your pain, but you can always come to my house if you wanna jump in my pool, because it's open all year long, and nobody goes in it.
You too, did you get that online? Because I will go to your house. I am a pool hoe, I'll go anywhere.
I'll tell you what.
I swim at the hotel, I swim at the Goshen Aquatic, and I swim in Monroe.
You call me anytime you want, and I will invite you as a guest to my country club at Otter Kill, and you can use that pool whenever you want.
Thank you, I appreciate that, that would be lovely. The last thing is going back to June, when she was speaking about the decibels, while they're redoing the town code, is there anything you could put something in about truck decibels can't be more? I know you said it's hard to enforce
Well,
it,
we
but
have,
you can't enforce anything if it's not there.
we have the town decibel levels.
Oh, yeah.
For
Yeah,
trucks
they're in
going
for
down
everything. It
residential
doesn't matter what it
roads?
is.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is, it's a noise variance that we have in there,
Yeah.
it's a certain level, and we get complaints from from the quarry every day, when they're blasting, every day.
Yeah.
But, okay, you called me, did anybody test it? Well, I can't send Frank out there to test it, it already happened.
I have some kid that drives down every night at 10:30, about 90 miles an hour. I don't understand with all these deer why he does that. And it's loud, and my windows are shut.
So, I'm sorry, what'd you say, what was it, what is it?
I don't know what kind of car it is. He's got like a
Cars?
funky muffler. It's loud. And he comes in at 10:30 at night. He's cutting from 17M, probably going to Florida. And it is super, super loud. And my house is sealed. I'm a city girl. I don't got the windows open. But it's super, super loud. It just seems like
Every
someone-
night?
Every weeknight, like Monday to Friday. It's probably coming back and forth. to work.
So the guy that pulls into your driveway tonight at 10:30 is not gonna be that guy, it's gonna be the cop waiting for him.
He's welcome. Welcome in my driveway. I appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
What's your address?
Don't say it on the record.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
Well, show for trick or treat.
Murray, yeah, give it to him after. When he gives you his address for the pool.
100 Otter Road.
I'm going to the
Otter Kill
country,
Country Club.
I'm going to
You're
the
more than
country
welcome.
club now.
No skinny dipping nothing. That young kid's there.
Those days are over.
Would anybody else like to speak? Come on, Neil, I know you're.
Dylan, come on. You had that, right? You had the-
Yeah, he'll throw in drinks for you by the pool if you go home.
Thank you very
And
much.
I will say before Neil starts, during the planning board, he grilled that guy pretty good.
We did,
So,
the battery, yeah.
He's a gem.
Okay, thank you very much, Neil Halloran. I got about 6 things, but I want to really fly through them, so. On number 2, when you waive fees in that, I know George brought up that there's a flood development permit. And I was hoping that wasn't what you waived, because you also talked about Sean having to do some work with it. I was hoping that's not the permitted fees that you were waiving.
so we waived the application fee of $250.
Okay, for some other permit, not the flood permit. Just so everybody understands, I don't want them coming back and saying, hey, you agreed to waive this. But Sean's looked at that before, and it could be very
You had the
expensive.
conversation, what did they say?
Yeah, no, specifically.
I know.
With Frank, he said, you know, the escrow account, that's not being waived.
No,
You know,
but,
there's an escrow account that is gonna be developed for,
Consultants.
the, soil and water.
Yeah.
So it's the only, I think it's roughly $300.
Permit fee.
for the
That's
fee,
it.
right, but I,
Everything else they gotta pay for.
okay, just, as long as everybody understands, and good, thank you. Number 2, the community event preservation plan. I think it's a really good idea. We actually did something very similar to that back when Honey Percy was in office. We did not get a community preservation plan because that's where you can go ahead and put it as this property transfer tax. They waived that, they would not let us do that because Senator Bonasack at this point in time said if we were gonna have a property transfer tax, he insisted that some of the money go towards affordable housing. And that's where that stopped because he
We're not
wouldn't support,
direct-
he would not support that then.
We will develop the plan and we will submit it to them, and if they say some of it has to go towards affordable housing, then, you know, the plan is over.
Sure, it's a decision for you to look at certainly at that point in time, but anyhow, I think it's a great idea. We did get some of those before, I think that we actually had to go to the public back then, and I think that at that point in time, they agreed for us to borrow up to $5 million to do the development rights. I think we never spent all that amount, I think there's still some out there, but I think we did spend $3.5 million at least.
1.9 million, the town is responsible, the rest came from the county.
Yeah, okay, so it was even better, because I know we voted to allow, the voters
Yep.
went up to $5 million in that, and so they were very much behind it at that point in time. Jordan, just after the meeting, I don't want to put it, we do have an issue out there as far as the safety thing, and it just, real fast, it's an easy fix. It would take somebody 15, 20 minutes to fix it. So, but I did notice it out there the other day.
What is that?
What is it? What's the
What is it?
safety? to do?
I don't really want to advertise it. It's a real easy one, and I just don't want anybody stupid to go out there now claim they got hurt.
Okay.
Okay?
I was gonna go do it. I was gonna go slip and fall.
Okay, there is a way we could do something about the warehouses right now, and certainly we could change the zoning at that point right now. Most of them have not made it, the other two have not made it through seeker yet. So it's not like they've really invested in it, and we've had that issue before in the past during the moratorium back in 2002, 2003, 2004, and that was not an issue. The one thing I've never seen, I don't know how it works, I've seen restrictions where you're driving along and see that you're not allowed to use Jake brakes. I don't know.
The signs.
Yeah, I've seen the signs, that's the extent of my knowledge, okay? I don't know how those get put into place, I don't know if they really are enforceable, but that would certainly address that without doing the noise issue. The Jake brakes were being used, and you don't have to measure the noise, I would guess. The battery storage, I do think that that's a really big issue. The odd thing is that there are safer batteries out there than lithium ion. I don't remember what they are, but I looked doing a lot of research on it.
Flow batteries.
Okay.
They're much safer, 3 times the cost.
Okay, in which case I really am okay with that. I mean, I'm looking for the safety of the town, not the safety of the residents.
I don't disagree with you, no.
Okay, good, I know, good, thank you. The other thing, we'll talk about, there's not an issue with the smell or blown up site. When we had fires up in Canada, there was no issue with the fire smell coming off site. But we all had it down here. I mean, it's a question of size. I know we're talking a massive difference, but just because they claim it couldn't be there, it could blow sometimes. The other really frustrating thing the other night at the planning board meeting was just that consultant just being pushed to try to get, what's the safest distance if a fire breaks out, how much property does town need to evacuate right then to be safe? And it may be the whole property, and he should say that, or maybe it just has to be 100 feet, 200 feet, whatever. But he never came up. I don't know why he was afraid to say that, or why he didn't want to make that statement.
I mean, I'll make an assumption that if the fire department says it's 900 feet, they won't be renting Cam's property. They'll shut them down.
No, look, I don't, all we need is some kind of simple answer, and he should be able to give that minimum at least. And it should not be up to the fire department to have to make a snap decision after every emergency response. I just think it should be ahead of time, hey, when the alarm goes off, you need to evacuate 500 feet, whatever the heck it is, and then we can go from there and make a decision from there. Okay, I think that's pretty much it, but I think a moratorium would be very helpful until some of these questions just were resolved as far as safety. Okay, thank you very much.
Would anybody else like to speak? All right, do I have a motion? Well, we'll close the town board, right? No, motion to close the town board meeting October 23rd, 2025.
So moved.
Second? Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
So there's